Today I am joined by John and David. They are the founders of a new startup that is in the socially conscious space. It will be a nonprofit, and it's called Shine for Good. And they have worked with us over at the CSUF Startup Incubator. And we thought it'd be a good chance for you all to get to know these two gentlemen. So please, guys, take it away. Please introduce yourselves.
Hi, my name is David Cairns. I've had about 40 years of experience with companies such as Gerber, Novartis Consumer Health, and my last stint was with McGuire's for 16 and a half years, and they were owned by 3M. And so I've had an extensive background in sales and marketing, business development. I've called on accounts from the military, all sales channels in the United States. And of course, I did global product marketing for McGuire's as well. John?
Cool. Okay. My name is John Trail, and my most recent was a business that I was partnership in for 28 years. It was a label and packaging company, Labeltronics. We printed labels and very familiar with packaging. So we sold the business last year. And both David and I actually in 2022 officially retired from our business careers. And that's kind of what has prompted us. We've been friends for probably 15 years, but that's what brought us together on a business venture that's based on our experience and trying to do something in our last chapter, if you will.
Well, maybe it'll be the best chapter too, right? So
absolutely.
Yeah, to tell us all a little bit about Shine for Good.
Okay, well, I'll start with that. So Shine for Good is it's a nonprofit. That was something that, I think as we evolve, we feel like the social enterprise term might be a better descriptor, because we've formed the business. We're a 501(c)(3), and we are incorporating kind of the best of our experiences from business. At the same time, the real purpose of Shine for Good is to give back and help people with disabilities. So our purpose, as we have coined it, is creating a better world for people with disabilities, one car and one family at a time. So that's kind of our purpose. That's our mission, and we're taking the car care business model, and we're developing that with the Shine for Good brand, and we'll be launching a line of car care products, and we'll be going out to events and car shows and various activities to get in front of clients, to let them know about Shine for Good. At the same time, we're using this car care business aspect, very unique, but a way forward for us to kind of do what we're going to do.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. I think you have a lot of families, you have a lot of people out there that this is a unique business model in the fact that we're out there talking to people about car care products, but we're also talking to them about if they contribute and they buy some of these products, we're looking at the net profits going back into supporting the Shine for Good, as we call it, foundation or organization. So it's really, one, we'll have premium products. John came from a labeling background, so we are going to have superior label products that'll be on there for the descriptions and stuff like that. And of course, I come from a car care industry, so I know about the formulations and some of the contacts and things like that. So we think it's kind of a unique win-win opportunity. So you can either, if somebody can look at, we can either get donations, which we're going to focus on as well, but we'll also have an opportunity to go out and really that's how we're going to promote what we're doing. So it'll be very different, that we'll get to consumers, and as John said, one consumer, one family at a time, and hopefully they'll see that we have these great products that function very well, and they're supporting a good cause. So, people, we've talked to a lot of people, they kind of want to buy a product from somebody that makes them feel good. And we're really hoping that we can turn that into something really magic, and they can be a part of this experience with us.
Yeah, no, I was just thinking, I mean, it's great on a couple of different levels. On one, I mean, it sounds it's very similar to the business model like Newman's Own, right? So Paul Newman created Newman's Own, built that into a really big business, and all the money goes to charity there. But also, I mean, the car industry itself, it is a vibrant community, especially the kinds of cars, the people who take care of their cars well. And that's, you know, that's going to be one of your target markets, especially for the products. And so I think that there's a tremendous opportunity there to build up the community even more and get them behind something as important as the causes that you guys are going after. So going through your guys' pitch deck that you sent me, one of the stories that you highlighted was a guy named Mikey. Would you guys like to talk about him some?
Sure. So Mikey has Down syndrome, and he also was born with some challenges with his body from a inability to walk and move. So he's been constrained to a wheelchair his whole life. So recently, his parents, unfortunately, were going through a divorce, and mom and sister were being left to care for Mikey, and the need arose out of all of this for a van that was wheelchair accessible, so it had a ramp. Because Mikey now is 25 years old, he's been limited as far as getting out of the house. He's heavy, and it's quite challenging for mom and sister. So that's an example of what we're working on to help them obtain this van, so that it's easier for them to get out and get Mikey out of the house and live life.
And it gives Mikey, you know, the opportunity to experience things that he would not experience if he didn't have that freedom. And so that's really what we're trying to do. Is we can't change every life, but we can surely help enable them to have some other opportunities. Because you can imagine just sitting in the house all day, just getting out and taking a ride in the van, right? Or going someplace different, getting some fresh air. That's really what we're all about. We're just trying to enhance the lives of some of these folks who are well deserving.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I totally get that. I mean, I live right outside of Austin, Texas right now. And last week there was about 3 days there where it was just covered in ice and wasn't able to get out. So I had a little taste of that, not being able to get out so much.
Right.
It's not fun. So yeah, and then you have basically your whole life where you're stuck in a home. I mean, that's not fun.
And as you know, as kids get older, it gets harder for the family to help and deal with it. Right. And you know, those are the kind of things we'll be doing and are doing to help any which way we can. So yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, yeah. So I mean, it's obvious that you guys are doing it. It's a good cause, and you guys have the passion for it. And I think that a lot of people, when they think of a social enterprise or something that's called that, thinks that that's enough. But with you guys, that's not the case at all. I mean, you guys do have the experience to go along with it. David, your experience in the car industry, and John, your experience in labeling. I mean, especially with the products that you guys are going after. I mean, that's the branding is, you know, extremely important. So can you guys both give us a couple of those key experiences or insights that you have from your professional life that you think are going to really help to inform and make Shine for Good a success going forward?
Yeah, I'll kind of, you know, respond to that, because it's you know, so for both of us, you know, we're coming from the business world, right? That's been our career. We understand what it takes to run a business. You know, the challenge. You're trying to be profitable. It's been very enlightening. You know, we're less than a year into this, but through the college and our efforts in setting up the organization, we're learning a lot about this nonprofit business model and some of the constraints that are placed on businesses. You know, you're told to run it like a business, but you're also have some limitations on, you know, things are frowned on if you're spending money on marketing, or if you're spending money on payroll, or you know, you're just doing things that from my experience of running a business are vital. So, you know, we kind of have found our way. We're incorporating our business skills, but adapting it to the nonprofit space. And so it's a learning experience, and I think there's a lot more learning for us that we're excited about, because we're very excited about what we're doing, very committed to the purpose, but we're also realizing that the many challenges of, you know, this social enterprise and trying to do something good in this world, but do it as a business, so you can take advantage of, you know, what all businesses do, but do it in a way that's good for the purpose, and make that the priority. So, you know, I think we're just taking it one step at a time, so that we're legal, compliant, and doing it to the law, but we're also just, I guess, greater appreciating, I think, the difference between for-profit business and a not-for-profit business, and some of the nuances.
Yeah, I mean, really what we're trying to do is get more money, to raise more money for the opportunities to give back to people with disabilities, right? So you got to be a little creative. And through my background, I've worked for, you know, the Fortune 500 companies, as well as working for a private equity company and a private company. And I could tell you, in that environment, you had to be scrappy, right? I mean, you really had to understand. You played a lot of different roles. I mean, I'll give you an example. I came from Novartis, and it was a big organization, and you had lots of resources. Well, when I first worked for McGuire's, and I was, you know, I'm supposed to be a vice president of sales, and it's like, okay, well, who does this? Well, you do that. Well, who does that? You do that. You put all this together. At first, it was a little daunting, but then it got really exciting, because the passion that you had with people. And really, when I start talking about passion, that's really what it is. This is a passion business, the car care business. John and I have passion for helping people with disabilities. And so we want other people to have that same experience and have that same passion, that they feel good when they buy one of our products. Not only are they getting a great product, but they're also doing good causes for something good. And we think, you know, it'll be contagious, and we hope to have ambassadors that will be out there that love our brand and go and tell other people about, hey, you know, donate to Shine for Good. And we're going to hopefully post all great things that we're doing, so people can see exactly what we're doing with the dollars that are being collected. So we're really excited about that. Again, I can't say enough about one thing I learned about: you got to have passion to get up every morning and do things and make it great, and really feel like you're making a difference. So.
Awesome. And so I know that you guys also worked with our program here at Cal State Fullerton. I think you worked with one of the student teams, and then if I'm correct, also the incubator as well. Correct?
Right.
So can you guys give us some you know, like some of the highs and lows from that experience? What was good? What was bad? You know, with a focus on the good, because again, this is a Cal State Fullerton video. So yeah, just give us some highlights from working with the students, for example.
Well, we you know, we as we learned about the opportunity to work with the college, was, you know, with our experience, we talked about it, like, hey, we could figure this out on our own, but boy, wouldn't it be nice to get some young minds working with us. And so we did that, and I think it's been a great experience, continues to be. I think we've engaged with the students. You know, we got some great ideas. Social media, something David and I are familiar, you know, we know about, but we sure don't pretend to be experts at all. The kids and the students were very insightful. They gave us some really good campaigns and direction. You know, they worked on, you know, a lot of surveys to get feedback, and our logos and design. I mean, it was very comprehensive. And we continue to engage with them, and, you know, we're hopeful that they, you know, stay connected with us as we launch later this year. And, you know, I think for us, it kind of exceeded probably our expectations of the opportunity to engage others and get some ideas.
Yeah, I think to your point, when you get a perspective of some of the students that are in college today, different than what you have in the business world, don't ever expect that you know it all, right? When you think you know it all, That's when you don't know it all. And we really learned a lot of stuff. There were some great ideas. One of the things is that when you have a car, one of the students said, why don't you have a sign that says, everybody holds it, says, I shine for, let's say, Mikey. And there's a sign that after they get done with it, go, I shine for Mikey, I shine for Julie, I shine for April. And it's just kind of a theme. Those are certain things that we could have never thought about until you get some other folks in there. I think on top of just the students and their teamwork and how they look at life different than maybe we did, 40 years ago, at least for John anyways. I think that we also got a team of coaches at the university and from outside. And I think we could ask, once a month we'd have a call. We'd ask a lot of good questions. We got great contacts. We got good legal advice. So that's continued. And I think that's just really important for somebody who's looking. That to me was a valuable thing in itself, because some of those contacts have really been great, long lasting. We're now doing business with them for a long lasting. So I think those are the added benefits that we didn't see going into it, right? You're going to get the opportunity to meet with the kids and put a presentation together and get some great information. But then on top of that, you also got, I look at it sort of like coaches. They're almost like the folks that we can ask questions and not have to, or, how does the university think about this? Or what if we did this? And based on a lot of their experiences, they've really been able to help us, I think, and direct us as we start to maybe waver off. Have you thought about this? Have you thought about that? We think we know it all, like I said before, but this we did not, because it's really starting from square one all the way up. So that's really been awesome. And I would highly recommend anybody's thinking about this. It's well worth the investment of time and money.
Well, that's good to hear. And just a quick note on people who think that they know it all. I mean, that's just basically a euphemism for they've stopped learning, right? Because you guys are right. There's always something else you can learn. There's always a different way to look at something. There's always, something extra that you can do. All right. Well, I think we're coming to the end or getting close to it. I know that you guys have some, I'm not sure exactly actually, but I think you have some events planned for the summer to kick this off. And so are those still in the works? And then just more in general, how can people find out more about Shine for Good, and how can they get involved?
Well, yeah, so we're in the creation stage of the business itself. We're literally doing the heavy lifting on the products and our go to market vehicle. We have a trailer that we're obtaining and kind of getting our website up and running. So right now there's not a lot. We do have a website, shineforgood.com. And on our timeline is launching the 1st of June is when we'll be up and running with the ability to take orders and be processing any communications. But if somebody wanted to go to our website, there is a contact us section where you could just submit any interest, and we're monitoring that to follow up with anybody that's interested in working with us.
And is that a place for them to just put in their email address to get updated for anything that happens in the future?
No, it's just a simple dialogue of they put their name and submit with a question. So
Okay.
It's a little informal. It's not, again, we're a work in process as of today. That'll be fully up and running in a couple months. So in the short term, that would work. They could just put their information in the comment box, and one of us can reply back. And
we'll start giving more updates as we get closer to our first launch. We want to have everybody that we know go to our first launch, which will really be family and friends and associates who've helped us. So that's really the kickoff that we want to be able to have in the June time period. So we're looking forward to that. And as we get more information and we secure a site, that's our timeline. So we're working toward that, just like business, we're working toward that timeline to have everything ready, to have our products ready, and to get out there and kind of introduce Shine for Good to the world. So we're really excited. And then we expect to have at least 2 more shows that we'll actually be participating in. As far as giving, any donations and stuff like that, John and I are evaluating a few of those now. And if we do, select one we vetted out, we'll let people know on the website that this is what we've done. And we expect to do that probably before June, at least to get the ball rolling a little bit. So, yeah.
That's awesome, gentlemen. Is there anything else that you guys would like to share that that I didn't cover in this?
I think we covered the basis. I think we're learning a lot. It's been great, and we continue to keep updates, I guess, on what we're doing. We're pre-launch, and then hopefully by the summertime we have a whole different story to tell. So
my only comment would be, as I've said this before, is try to do what you love to do, because if you do that, it really makes your life in general much better, and it's really a great opportunity to do something you love to do. So if you're some of those young people out there today, I know we get caught up in the whole money and all that, and I know that's very important, but if you're doing something you really love, those things will come, right? Those things will come. So you really be focused. Entrepreneurs are awesome. It's really a great opportunity. If you really feel that you can you want to create something, it's a great way to move forward. And there's lots of resources available for people, whether it's nonprofit or for-profit businesses, that they can help you, and people want to help. I think that's, John and I have been overwhelmed by the support that we have received by so many people, how they want to support us. They love what we're doing, and they're helping us everywhere we go. So we just appreciate all the support and help, and we want more ambassadors to help us.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, entrepreneurship, and especially social entrepreneurship, that's a way for you to create something that is bigger than you, that outgrows you, that creates something that can really improve who knows how many lives. So yeah, that's great. John, do you have any final words of wisdom for everybody?
I think David spoke correctly as far as the opportunities that are out there for anyone. I think being innovative, trying to do something that hasn't been done before is very motivating. And I would encourage anybody to, if they have those thoughts and want to aspire, that's, the business I had, we started from scratch, a manufacturing operation. It was pretty challenging, but, very rewarding. And just like what we're doing now. There's nothing holding you back other than just making a decision to persevere, and the resources are out there. As David said, the world has amazing amount of opportunity and innovation. So, you just got to make your decision and go forward and stay on course to do something good. And I think that's opportunity for everyone.
The only other thought I would say is, if you're thinking about that, get a hold of the Cal State University Fullerton group with the Incubator program and get involved, and at least find out how, what that program's all about and what are the opportunities. Because I think if you talk to the students, they feel really good about what they've entered into. And, we expect them to be a part of this mission the whole time. I mean, we really feel that they're a part of this organization, and they've helped us because they started with us, and, they'll be invited. We want them to be one of our ambassadors, and it's really, I think, been a good experience for them too. And that's what we were hoping for. So it's awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. And didn't want to make this about the Center for Entrepreneurship or the Incubator, but yeah, I mean, I think what you guys are trying to do with Shine for Good by building out a community, that's what we're trying to do over at Cal State Fullerton, and have been doing now for a couple decades anyways. Build a community for entrepreneurs and professionals in the space that do want to be innovative, take something from 0 to 1, whether that's to build the next tech startup that goes IPO, or a social enterprise that helps out people that have Down syndrome or some other disability. I mean, that's why we do this sort of stuff. So there's different ways to get involved. It could be student team, it could be by becoming a client at the Incubator, or it could be, coming to one of our events. I know we just had one over the weekend in person, but we also have events all the time online and whatnot. So there's definitely a lot of ways to get involved with the entrepreneurial community. And for myself, and I know I speak for everybody else at the center, I'm glad that you two gentlemen, got involved as well. So thank you both very much. Thank you both for doing the interview today. And any last words before we go off?
Just shine for good.
Shine for good. That's great.
Yeah, there you go. Shine for good.
All right. Thank you, guys.